is dark.
Especially because there's no mage lights.
And all of Wand has again gone dark. The last time this happened was about a year ago.
Innocent. Pure as driven snow.
You and me both, man.
It was my fault. You were just there.
What you know is, is that Jin overheard a conversation, a very short one-line conversation saying, "I've killed the boy." From that, you disseminated to everyone else that information, and there was a hasty head count done, and Lange came up missing. Then spent the next 2.5, 3 hours running around Wand madly. Yes. Desperately trying to looking for Lange wherever you could find him. Into this, you brought Timaeus and Gabriel, and you eventually, logically, though I don't remember how, found your way to the stables and found the sewer grate.
We started on the walls from the opposite side, and then you basically said that the most logical place for both parties to meet up was right outside the stables. And so it was right there to serve.
You got the grate open, and you went in and searched, and you found evidence of something that had been dragged down, and you followed the path all the way down to where the shaft emptied into black water. Outside of that, Cornelia and Peter, Nimue and Julian went to the what is the word for where a pipe comes out? The outlet. Discharge. Yeah, the discharge outlet of Wand's sewer system. Just before the shadow fight happened. Just as you guys had, concluded that you had given up and had come back up and were in the process of getting out of the sewers, there was a message from Alicia that said,
Go home right now.
Go home,
get away from the stable.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why, just go.
Just go.
And I did it 2 different times, actually.
Unfortunately, the reason for that became amply clear when you
No longer had to question me.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually know the reason, but I probably
Yeah.
at this point. But, yeah.
So the people at the stables then encountered the shadow, and you had the fight. That ended with Mishri turning into a supernova, and in the kindest way possible, driving a greater shadow legion into flight after inflicting a lot of harm. And then all the lights went out. On the other side of things, those that weren't at the stables, were not at the stables, know that the search was going on. A number of people that night disobeyed the rule of don't be alone, including Andrew and Cornelia.
I think it's easier to list people who did stay with the buddy system.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was the one spamming chat, don't go alone, while I was sprinting.
Arliss.
It's the perfect cover.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
You should have that on a t-shirt.
And Theraline.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alicia became greatly concerned about Teraline's welfare and attempted to hunt her down.
But lovingly.
Attempting to call her, demanding to know where she was. Eventually, Alicia found her.
Sylvia was with us.
Yeah, sorry, Sylvia
And
was
Sylvia,
Alicia, because Alicia was not alone, as opposed to the rest of you guys. Alicia, at least, was the one person following the rules. And Sylvia. Sylvia and Alicia.
Alicia followed the rule to not be alone.
Sylvia helped, and two of them followed the rules.
Well, Julianne
And Julianne and Neil followed. Is there anyone else that would like to note that they followed the rules? Okay.
I broke the rules flagrantly and repeatedly.
I'm never alone. We're always together. This is not a problem.
I'd like it to be known that rules are more suggestions for my character.
However, Sylvia and Alicia did discover that Theraline had been in the ladies' bathroom enjoying a long hot bath.
Trendsetter. Soon everybody will be going down to the sewers and then to the water.
It's impact.
Don't tempt me. That's for you.
They're going to have guided tours.
Just have Teraline do it, and all of a sudden, like, alright, let's know that we're doing it.
In the midst of that, somewhere in the midst of that, before she found her in the ladies' bathroom, which is actually a bathroom. Washroom? It should be a bathroom.
Bath.
Because that's where the bath is. Yeah. It's not a restroom, it's a bathroom. Well,
Yeah.
Anyway, not the point.
Is it very-
She had communicated shortly with Theraline, and Theraline had said, I'm not going around alone, I'm in the
Student council room.
student council room.
And then she died there on the spot.
Because she wasn't in the student council room. So, anyway.
Carlos needs to get his lying 101 class as a seminar.
We can set that up.
Master class.
It's called lying about what happens when you smell lying.
In any case, making your way back to various places of your choice.
Anyway,
A bond that stretches across continents.
those of us who
Okay.
are on the way to the house.
Who is going? First of all, where are you going?
So I am currently, assuming that we're at the place where we stopped with me the last game, I was with Sylvia and Teraline, and we had already arrived at Gabriel and Laura's house and were waiting there, and I, as my other self, was on my way and about to arrive at that house, and was expected to arrive before the stable group.
Okay.
You're telling Timaeus that Lange is missing, right? Or what was it? I forget.
I was, yes, well, I was connecting with him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I basically said, meet me at your house.
And he's like, I'm not going to my house, go to Gabriel's house.
Yeah, and so then I was going there to meet him. So I'm expecting him to come, but in the meantime,
Right.
I will be
He's
finding
gonna
other
meet
people there
us.
first.
Yay.
Raise your hand if you're going to Gabriel and Laura's house.
I'm being carried.
Yeah, you're being carried.
So obviously they're at
That's what I said.
I'm assuming
Yeah, they're on their
she's
way.
with us
Okay, I was like,
because
wait a minute.
she wanted to first
Was
take
there
off.
a convention called?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gabriel's definitely carrying.
Asked him when we were going, so.
Timaeus has already basically triaged you and concluded that you give all your song gives all the evidences of just being absolutely
With
exhausted.
some 3 points of damage claw marks on my shoulders, yes.
Those aren't there anymore.
Ooh.
How did he do that with no
You just had the
You
power
do that.
to stone pour through you, I think you're.
with no
Well, the
No.
anchor stone, no, the anchor stone is already reset.
No, the anchor stone there's going to be another 4 hours before the anchor stone comes back online. Timaeus has at his belt Baoms.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He has batteries.
He has batteries. He can function for a good while.
That's fortunate.
Ah.
So, anybody who's taken damage, you can assume you're healed at this point. So who is going to Gabriel's house? Or, put another way, who is not? Who's going to their own homes?
My understanding is we were going back to our dorms unless somebody informed us to do differently.
You were told to go back to your dorm.
Did anybody
Don't tell everyone
explain
to go
to us
home.
what
We were
happened?
told to go home. They were trying to leave the stables to go home.
Yeah, but there's been no message to go get
But we had gone ahead of
I closed the
everybody
door
else.
and came out here.
So
There was no sound.
did we find Lange? Did we find?
At least the stable group doesn't really know that there's anything new going on.
Right. The stable group. What the stable group knows is what they've surmised,
Yeah.
and also the fact they got attacked by something really big.
Did we hear the noises from where we were at the drain?
You guys were
You said after.
about 3/4 of a mile away, so I don't.
Might have seen the flashlight.
You may have seen a really bright flash of light, like a lightning stroke. But unlike a lightning stroke, it lasted for it lasted a long time. You could have counted a good 10 seconds that it was gone before it suddenly went out.
The power station blows up. The power station blows up.
Yeah. Apart from as in direct physical communication, are down.
Okay.
Even if we had something to update
There's no
with,
network.
There is no network.
we'd have to go physically.
Yeah, nobody can call anybody to give updates at this point.
I can tell you the network doing this
So
because
with my
my
understanding,
stuff
we were
works
already
because I'm a
in the
battery.
house. At that point, David, we had already made it to our house.
Yeah.
We had gone ahead of them.
Yeah.
And so we were actually inside, which was good for Lee because she shouldn't look directly into that light. Or it will so overwhelm her.
Yeah, that
So
was.
it was a very good thing that she was inside when that happened.
It's convenient.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
To be fair, there are very few sentences that begin with looking into the light that end well.
But we would notice all the lights in the house go
But we
out.
would notice the lights had gone out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would probably have seen something out the window, but thankfully I had some.
So the elder
I don't know what that
hospitaller
is,
was
but-
making her way to Gabriel's house when she saw the light, and all of Wand went dark.
It was my understanding she had also already gotten there.
No, she had not yet arrived. She was in transit.
Okay. How close is it that she
She's
was?
she's basically at the when that happens, she's at the upper gate, which puts her a block away from the house.
Okay. She is still going to go to the house because she's assuming she's finding all the people there that she's told to be there for her.
Who does she assume is going to be there?
Timaeus.
She arrives at the house, and who answers the door?
I will answer it. The other me.
Oh, I love
Let's say for myself.
Like it's your turn.
this. Yes, it's your turn to suffer.
I'm assuming there's some light from the outside, there's from the moon and such, but it's not. Like,
Actually, the moon has lost its power.
Remember climate
It's-
change?
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
So there is a deep gloom over it. There's no.
So she does a. Hello, who's there? I didn't think about it.
Normally, such suffering is limited to the storyteller.
It is Elder Hospitaller Christchurch. I have come to see Hospitaller Timaeus. Oh, he's not here yet. Where is he? He was at the stables. He was supposed to be coming home really fast, but he might be out in the dark and now it's really hard to see. Okay, who else is here with you? Well, there's Mage Laura and there's my friend Sylvia and Theraline.
At this point, to help you, Laura comes in.
Which would make more sense.
Yeah, it'll make more sense. Like, oh yeah, Laura is there. This is player abuse.
So I was like, I have to go to the door.
Yeah, if the police showed up at this point, I'd still be in trouble. So, Laura, it's like, yes. She shows up with a candle.
Whoa.
Oh.
Such advanced technology.
So,
It is good to actually see you.
Elder Mage. Elder Hospitaller.
What are you?
I was coming here to speak with Timaeus about Lange being missing,
Yeah, yes.
but he's not here.
No.
Do you have any communication with him at this point? I am not having any.
Everything's down.
Is everyone here well?
Yes.
Well, Theraline's very nervous, but other than that, we're okay.
I think all the girls are nervous at this point.
She knows what is going on.
Okay.
Something's been going on.
Clearly.
Yes, it is.
Theraline, is there anything I can do to help you?
Not at the moment, ma'am. Thank you.
The last time this happened was a year ago.
It wasn't in that location.
Where was it?
It was at the stables. Perhaps we should rendezvous with them up there. I would appreciate the candle.
She gives you the candle and says, I've told my husband I would stay here and watch. I'm going to stay here and watch. I think I'm going to keep the girls here as well.
As you wish. I will return.
Okay.
And she
Thank
goes
you.
towards the stables.
I know we have another candle in here someplace.
I mean, I know my ways to the streets, but I also normally can use.
Yeah,
I'm assuming none of her
this is-
hospitals
yeah.
is working right now without the Anchorstone, or
Okay.
is it still?
You have your personal virtue.
Okay.
And by personal virtue, I don't mean, well, you've got your personal virtue and then you have your pool, your full
Right,
pool.
and obviously she would have.
Yeah,
things on
that's
her
not going to
side.
renew until,
Right.
so,
Yeah. But even with.
it's you're,
Yeah, I mean it is huge, but yeah, I'm just trying to think of. But she, unlike mages, doesn't have sight,
no,
and so therefore she can't see in the dark like a mage could if they
Right.
turned on.
right.
There's no hospitaller skill like that.
Um,
I mean, unless she did basically illuminate like a fountain,
yeah.
which as long as she has a candle, she's gonna
Yeah,
save the power.
this is the first time, this by the way is the first time that she's really had the opportunity to fully appreciate how much things have changed. This is sort of like going from modern day America into the gloom of an ungaslit London.
Right.
In the-
The thing is, she actually remembers days when she used candles.
Yeah.
She is not perturbed by candles at all.
True.
She actually.
It's just she's gone back in time
It
to
is
over
very
200
strange,
years. Yeah.
It is a very strange phenomenon. So, but she does have the ability, without much effort, to accelerate herself greatly,
Yeah.
and therefore she gets there very, very quickly, while still being able to shield the candle so it doesn't go out. Yeah, so she gets to them very quickly at this point.
Okay.
So I would say it's before they even are ready to.
Give me a dice roll. Just don't roll a 20.
Very quick question about the mage sight. Is that something they like turn on and off, or does it just happen when they're in the dark?
It is not something that just happens in the dark. It is something you are trained to be able to do, to turn on.
And we use mental to do
And you normally, the mage sight normally requires a mantle. Knights do it without a mantle. But they do it, there's two ways that they do it, either by, which I should have Brian explain, but there's illumination, and then there is, recently, Matthew was learning the skill that was not the sight per se. but it involved low-level illumination of the air of the entire volume that he was in.
Right. And essentially, in modern terms, it's continual sonar creating a 3D perception of your environment.
3D dynamics.
Not only like when you send out a ping of virtue, that's sonar. It's just everything reflects and comes back to you. You get a snapshot in time. But this is essentially that happening constantly. It's just you're pulling from terrestrial magic, right, David?
Yeah.
You're pulling from terrestrial virtue and essentially sending out just a consistent, every millisecond ping and getting back that same information, but as essentially, instead of just giving you here's its location in space, you're also getting, here's its vector. This is where it will be. You can predict where it will be in the next 10 seconds.
Because you've got that constant dynamic guide feeding your mind of all the objects that are moving around you. The main thing about it is whereas a ping burns all of the power at once and illuminates a very large volume, this sensing is generally a smaller volume or a more direct volume. So
I definitely didn't fail.
okay, good. Terrestrial magistry, however, right now is in a state of off. Yeah, there was a moment when all of a sudden it was gone. And anybody that uses terrestrial magistry, it wasn't there anymore. So, you encounter.
I basically come up very quickly on the scene of them recovering from.
Yeah, they're on the way back to Gabriel's house.
Yeah.
As it happens, strangely enough, there's also inadvertently a fair amount of mage activity coming out of King's College and heading across the Harpstra field to look into the area where the bright light was. Because there's the last time this happened.
So I meet them. What is their state when I approach them?
Their state is exactly what I've described earlier tonight. So you get all of that on arrival to speed things along.
Okay. Meaning that people they've taken the time to heal them, or they're going to heal them?
Timaeus has already healed them.
Okay.
They are actively on their way back. You encounter them. You encounter them actually probably about St. Mark's College.
So approach them.
Uphill from Magdalen.
Were you at the stables?
We were at the stables, as was something else.
I have a sense there's something you guys are going to need to tell me about.
Yeah, but why don't let's get back to the house.
Is there any reason to go to the stables at this point?
I don't think so. No.
Then we'll let the rest go and look around.
And so turn around, head back. It takes a little bit longer than you would expect because Gabriel is carrying Mishri. In fact, the only person that seems to be, hurt is Mishri, and there's no visible injury to her.
Yeah, I do actually do basically this hand on her.
Your conclusion is she's exhausted.
I'm familiar with that.
Get some rest, child.
And the group of you gets back to the house. And Gabriel and Timaeus at that point say, we encountered a shadow. Actually, we encountered a collection of greater shadows. We encountered something that seemed to be a collection of greater shadows.
I am assuming these are not the same shadows that you fought a year ago.
If I didn't recognize anyone. Wasn't a lot of room to recognize anyone. I didn't get the feeling they recognized me.
Before were not greater shadows.
They were.
I don't.
You can give me a die roll analysis.
How many did you sense?
There was a man thing, and he was bleeding off greater shadows casually.
What did they do to you?
They attacked us, largely.
121.
Oh yeah. No. No. This is definitely was not.
Order of magnitude.
Yeah, actually, your impression. Not quite an order of magnitude, but definitely heading there. The entire entity that you encountered with Horn is definitely weaker than the entire, significantly a step down from the entity you faced.
Even just the guy I stared down. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely much bigger than what we fought before.
Well, I would again ask Bill, how did they attack you? Because I don't see any of you say ripped apart. You all seem to be wounds. They were healed.
I believe that we didn't warrant a ripping apart because it was so much more powerful than us.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed more interested in simply. It attacked us in our minds.
To do what?
Yeah. They were, I don't know, wrapped up in shadow.
The people?
Yes.
Were you not?
No.
So you could see that they were wrapped in shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they did not. You were the only one that did not get actually attacked?
Yes.
Okay. So those who were cocooned, what happened to you?
We fell.
You fell?
The ground opened up like a great big pit and we fell. A long way.
And after?
I don't know where it said. We would lose you, but we would fight. I miss you right
Matt?
now. No.
Oh, that kind of Matt.
No. Like, she blew everything up. Well, them.
Okay.
This unconscious child.
So she broke out of the cocoon,
I didn't see it. I was with her in the pit.
but she broke out of the darkness, out of the pit.
Yeah. I think.
What we saw and what was actually happening were two different things.
Yeah. It's like they were. The ground didn't really open up, but that's what we saw and
Your
felt.
minds were taken over by the shadows.
Assaulted.
Yes. You don't need to tell me specifics, but did they attempt to break down your will and make you feel powerless or lost, trapped?
Definitely, but it was very fast. It was a few moments of battle, which was sad because I think they were taking us down in moments.
And you say that Mishri repelled them? Or she somehow?
Somebody. I heard Carlos's voice too.
Her mantle. Gabriel says her mantle behaved oddly. In a good way. Capital G. We're alive because her mantle behaved oddly.
Could you observe at all what happened? Or were you?
I was a little occupied at the time,
That is fine. I didn't know if anybody
But
actually saw what happened.
it was very bright. I don't think she didn't see. It was.
No, you were the only one who did
I was
see.
the only one who did
Yeah.
see. What did I see though? There's a lot going on last game. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
The glowing
It should have been.
You ask an incredibly fair question, and you deserve a fair
There
answer.
are people
I am
wrapped in
going to give it
becoming
to you.
enmeshed in shadow.
Mishri's skin and her clothing began to shine with light that brooked no shadow. Brighter it grew, and behind her you saw the lights of wand go out. Her mantle unfolded like a flower, drawing into its open blossom that which she faced in the shadow, and it began to close, focusing all of its light and an ever-narrowing attention upon the shadow before her. The high Theraline fell back into the body of that shadow, even as it leaned into her light, its hands before it. It tried to reach out and seize her again and again, but it found no virtue with which to gain purchase. And that was one important point. Everybody was seized by their virtue, by their mantle.
Can I describe that?
You saw no virtue from her.
Right.
From the moment it started, all of a sudden, all there was light, and it was just light. It tried to seize her again and again, but it found no virtue with which to gain purchase, and it dared not take physical form in the blazing glory of her mantle. The human visage burned away, leaving obsidian black behind. At last, as the flower of her mantle closed, the light wholly focused on it, tore it apart, and its fragments fled into the night. And Mishri fainted. That's what you saw. And I think you're the only one that was really in place to see all of that.
And because she was up, she actually wasn't. She didn't.
She was in the bomb
She
shelter.
wasn't up. She didn't even get up the ladder. I was the only one.
She at some point will say, okay, David, as a hospitaler, if I touch, can I specifically touch a mantle and sense things about it or not?
You can definitely touch and interact with it.
Okay, it's more I do want to in some way because I can tell something went through her mantle. I'm just trying to look through it and see if there's something.
What mantle are you looking?
Mishri's
mantle?
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out what just happened to it, and if it's okay, but also what just happened.
The mantle seems okay. As far, I mean, it's the mantle seems fine. If anything, there's an
There's no point. I'm just gonna burn it.
That's a good plan.
Yeah. No, you should.
I didn't think of that,
Next time. Double what they're being.
yeah. You killed Brian and Savannah.
Oh yeah,
avenge me. Are you still there, Brian? Knock once if you're not there. Knock twice if you aren't. I don't know.
What? You put negative on both of those pictures.
It's a double negative, it works.
Brian, I swear upon all that I love and all that is holy, I will avenge you when convenient. Assuming I don't forget. Or don't have anything better to do, or there's not a fun video game coming out.
And no sooner than Tuesday.
Yeah, no sooner than Tuesday. I got stuff to do.
And Tuesday's
The life
iffy.
outside of that Ruben.
Maybe it needs to take that.
I'd expect you to do the same for me.
You're right. I will definitely start planning to avenge you after some snacks.
Alright, yeah. I appreciate it.
Okay.